Hi. In the last 18 months or so, I have placed, if you include this one, 216 videos on the subject of retirement. And the feedback I've been getting is very gratifying. 287,000 views plus, and over 5,600 subscribers. Okay, that's flattering. But what I'd like to talk about now is, I know that a lot of people who watch these videos watch them because, not only because of the general advice I put out on retirement, but some of my philosophical beliefs. And today I got a comment which really moved me. The man who commented has been following me since about 6 months before he retired, and has now been retired probably for another 8 months or so. And he wrote a comment saying, "Tom, I always watch your videos through 2 or 3 times because I gain so much knowledge and wisdom from them." Now, I was chuffed with that. I was really pleased. And I even placed a copy of what he said on Facebook and LinkedIn, deleting his name, of course, so he remains anonymous. But what I'd like to talk about in this video is of a philosophical nature, because I think when we retire, not all of us, but many of us, have reached a stage of where we are pretty wise in the ways of the world, but not yet wise in the ways of our own spirit. We think we need to do something more. We get this urge from within. Now, this urge to do things, this something or other which eggs us on, is our own real self, our higher self, as distinct from our self-image or ego mind beliefs. Sometimes there's a bit of a conflict there, and when there is, we can become very uneasy. Our mind disturbs us. And when our mind disturbs us, it upsets our metabolism. And when our metabolism is upset, it upsets eventually our health. So we need to find, I think, inner peace. And where does that inner peace come from? It comes from our beliefs. And this is why I've always said that most of us, all of us really, need to develop a philosophy of life that we can live with and expand with. One that appeals to our health, our mind, our physical bodies, our hearts, and I guess you could say our spirituality, what our beliefs are. Now, I'm not going to get bogged down in dogma and particular religious beliefs, because we know the world is filled with different ones. And even those within a particular religion, whatever that might be, have their own views of how they believe the tenets, the teachings of that religion. So I'm not going to go along there. What I'm going to say is this: I believe that the best thing any of us can do is to, well, I wrote it down here so I'll get the words right. I believe that seeking self-understanding so that we might best serve in the greatest motivation for living. I'll read that again. I believe seeking self-understanding so one might best serve is the greatest motivation for living a long life. In other words, as we get into our older age, we need a purpose to keep going. That purpose can be something pretty mundane, something common to many people, such as looking after the family, advising the grandkids, or it could be something far larger, like having a vision to provide a service and be passionate about it so that you're almost driven by a mission. That's something I've learned from reading a book by Greg Anderson many years ago. He came up with this formula: V plus S times P equals M. And I think I fall into that category. So what is it? The V stands for vision. The S stands for service. The P stands for passion. And these all together equal mission. Now, we might not define the mission in words in our mind, but if we can do it, if we can define a mission, then we have a real purpose, a real mission. Not all of us will fall into that category, but certainly all of us need a purpose in retirement, rather than just bumbling along and doing things to fill in the day. Because if we're just bumbling along to do things to fill in the day, and the motivation isn't there, the chances are we will not live as long a life than if we had a purpose. So think carefully. Do you have a purpose in your retirement? Something really good? Something that motivates you, inspires you? It'll probably be something in which you help other people, perhaps help people to help themselves. Whatever it might be, I'm fully convinced that if we want to live a long, happy retirement, we need to have a purpose, and we need to find ourselves fulfilling that purpose as we proceed through our lives.